All right, hello everybody. I just wanted to give you a quick sneak peek at what I'm working on next for our server, and that is a library. We need some librarian villagers so that we can have a few handy enchantment books ready to go as we're crafting new tools and weapons and things like that. And it helps having a place to keep all these villagers where they can be safe and we can keep them sorted and organized where we want them to be. So this is kind of the design I'm working on for it. I'm in a test world right now, just trying out some different shapes and designs. First, I'll show you the first design I came up with. This is loosely based on a design of an actual building that I saw on Google Images somewhere that I thought was pretty cool, and I kind of took it and made it my own. Has these waterfall features, and I tried to add a bit of a motion element to it by getting these little strips of glass panes that are coming down. I thought it might look a little bit like falling water and splashing water here on the bottom, but I'm not really sure it worked very well, but that's okay. And I had a fish in there, and I have a couple fish in there. I don't recognize these fish textures though. That's weird. They just seem to be swimming wherever they want though, and they're going upstream and not staying downstream. That's a little weird. And I hear a bat somewhere. Hopefully not in my belfries. So the design for this was a little large and complicated. It had this big grand entrance, and then you'd come into this not very functional room. This is all about aesthetic. There's no real function here because you can't really do anything with these bookshelves and do anything with the books in the item frames over here. So there really wasn't a whole lot of point to this. There was a way you could drop down. Oh, here are the bats into this basement, but I didn't really do anything with that. And then you can come back up here. Not really great. And then if you wanted to get to the upstairs, you actually had to leave the building and go back in on the other side and then go up this way. And then you can kind of curve around to the other sides. So again, this is not a very functional design. It's very much aesthetic. And so I didn't really think that that was going to work for what we needed on our server. Too big, not a lot of functionality. Really cool though, but this was kind of take two. This was a more compact design, a more functional design. So my thought is here that we can have villagers kind of spaced out like everywhere I'm putting library books. There could be a villager stationed in each one of those spots, kind of going around the edges of the library, and that way, we could get, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We could have 10 different librarians. Might be able to tuck in one there, one there. So that's 12 already. We could have a dozen different enchanting books down here, and some librarians will sell you more than one good enchanted book. So we could potentially have as many as 24 different enchanting books down here. The likelihood of that is pretty low. I think, 15 or 16 is probably reasonable to expect. But that's kind of what I was thinking. And then, because I can't help myself, the rest of the build is purely aesthetic. So we come up this little staircase here. Nice foliage hanging up above and stuff. And then this is kind of the upper level. I tried to design these kind of bookshelves that are high up with the sliding ladders that you see in some older libraries and stuff. I thought that might be kind of a fun touch to add to it. Actually used trapdoors to build the backing for the ladders, and of course they're functional to get up here. But then when you get up here, there's there's nothing to do. But then on the back side here, some chairs and tables and stuff. Nice place to sit and read while you're at the library. Of course, I don't actually do a whole lot of book reading in Minecraft, but I couldn't help myself. Had to look cool. So this is kind of the design here that I'm going for. And I think it is 19 blocks wide by 15 blocks long. So it should fit fairly well onto the server. There's a spot we've got for it that I'm thinking it should do well. The only concern I really have is that it doesn't really match the aesthetic that we have going on the server. In fact, I'm going to hop over there now just so you can see. Um, yep, so, oh yeah, can't fly around like that. Not in creative mode here. So let me sleep real quick because it's dark. So right there where I have that outline, that's kind of the area I was thinking. That's already 15 by 15. And so that one edge could stick off right here, another 4 blocks. It should fit fine. The only issue is that all my buildings around here used polished diorite. That's like the key ingredient for every building I have around here. And as you saw on the test server, that was not at all how I designed it. So I'm worried about it not really matching, but at the same time, it's such a unique building, and all these other buildings are just pure function over form, you know? I mean, none of these are designed to be pleasing. This is a rectangle. This is a square rectangle. This is a square rectangle. Like, all of these are purely function over form. And so maybe it's okay that that our one building doesn't match because it's the first building that's really designed where, you know, the form is what matters most. You know, it's all about the aesthetic. So maybe that's okay. I definitely don't have the resources quite yet to build this. We're going to need a lot of deep slate, which is a recent addition to the game, but can only be found buried pretty deeply. So I'm going to have to do quite a bit of resource collecting before I'm ready to actually start building this thing. I have a little bit of deep slate, but not a lot. I also don't have the wood that we need yet. I don't think. I might have a little bit. Let's see here. Oh, I do have some spruce. Okay. So I forgot. I did a bunch of that earlier. So I should be pretty good. Let's take a look at the build here real quick. Back in the test world. Yeah, so here, if I hit F3, we can take a look. So, yep, these are spruce logs. These are dark oak. I don't have any dark oak, so I would have to go into a forest somewhere and get a bunch of dark oak and dark oak saplings so I can start farming a lot of dark oak here for that build. And then all this stuff, all these walls, all these slabs, stairs, bricks, they are all forms of deep slate. So I need to get my hand on that. These are all andesite walls with a little bit of diorite walls in between. That I should have enough of. Um, these are spruce fences. You just saw I have a bunch of spruce wood, so that's not a problem. Spruce trap doors, again, not a problem. This is birch. I don't really have a lot of birch, but I could probably get it. These are oak trapdoors. I can easily get oak. I can easily get azaleas and azalea leaves. So yeah, really the big issue right now is the deep slate and the dark oak. But I will get to work on that. Oh, and glass. I'm gonna have to make sure I have a lot of glass, but that's just a matter of getting my hands on some sand. Not a problem there. First, I need to finish designing the interior, figure out exactly how I want to lay out my villagers and how I'm gonna get them into each of their spots. I've got some ideas on that. I think I can just load them up with some Minecarts. But I got to get that design laid out, and then we've got plenty of villagers, so it should be really easy to get them loaded in. The issue is making sure that we've got enough of the right types. Got to make sure they all have the correct hooks. Ooh, I have an idea. Something I want to check out real quick here. Just curious what this looks like. So yeah, yeah, that looks nice. I like that. It doesn't really have any sort of function to it. It looks nice. It's like a nice metal support. I really like these. These are lightning rods. They're a new addition to the game in 1.17. And they're really cool. I use them in a couple places as posts for lanterns. You can see I use them here. I use that same technique I just did downstairs to place them like this to make them look like big rods. But you could also do it the other way around. So you could do it like this, so they have kind of a joint in the middle instead of a joint, the thicker ends at the top. So I'm really thinking that that's the only part right there, is that when you place them sideways, they don't match up to the end of this. They don't extend. Otherwise, these would be amazing as pipes. You could just, oh man, you could decorate these things as pipe for days. So you could, let's see here, find some copper blocks. You could do something like this, where, that just looks terrible though. I wonder what you could use. It's gotta be something. I mean, if you're doing it horizontally, what you could do is you could get a copper slab. Let me find where that copper, yeah, copper. So here's a copper slab. We could do something like this. You could put copper there, and then, well, even then, that doesn't look great at all. You could switch it around. Maybe that would help. No. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Well, I'll keep thinking about that. I'm sure there's a way to make that work. Maybe it involves using these fence posts or something as well. But that's it. Just a quick update showing you what I'm working on. That's all for now.